Hey there, how are you today? My name's Dana Damara, and you have landed on Astrocast. This is your March 2024 report. Now, I'm going to commit to do the best that I can to get monthly reports out to you guys. Okay, that's all I'm going to do is just I'm going to commit to doing my best and getting these out. But I really feel like this one for March is important, mainly because we have a lot of really dreamy, co-creative, spiritually infused manifesting energy before we start moving into eclipses. And who knows what happens after the eclipses, right? So this month I had time, this month I had space, this month I had motivation. So here it is. So March 2024 does promise a really beautiful, romantic, desirable, dreamy type of month. And I'll give you some dates on why that is. But it's also a very powerful month because everything is still moving forward. So all the planets are still in direct motion, which is amazing. And Mercury will hit its pre-shadow stage around the 15th to the 17th of March. So things will start to get a little like foggy around that time. And then toward the end of the month, Mercury will go retrograde right before we have our full moon lunar eclipse. Okay, so from now until mid-month, we've got another couple weeks left. I would say if you haven't put like those dreams in motion, if you haven't like jumped in to say yes on something that you know is in alignment with what you want, if you haven't, even given yourself some time to say, this is what I desire, this is what I want to create, I would say do it. It doesn't mean that everything will manifest like that, although coming from experience, sometimes it does. It just depends on how ready you are, right? So I have the key dates, but I just want to go a little bit at a time here, and I'm looking at my notes. So forgive me here. So all planets moving forward, everything might not execute, everything might not come to a complete like, yay, here it is. But I think the most important thing for you to understand is that your commitment and following your heart is of utmost importance. Okay. We have a new moon in Pisces this month. I just love Piscean energy. It's so soft and mystical and very dreamy and very psychic. So if you are using that energy, yay you. If you are not, I would say get on it. And how do you use Piscean energy? Oh my gosh, drop into your intuition, get quiet. There's a couple of points in our body that absolutely every time tell the truth. Every single time. Every single time. It's our gut and our heart. And we can feel it in our body, right? Like, oh, that's a no, or oh my God, that is like a yes, right? So get in attunement with these spaces in your body that actually tell the truth and listen to them. With the new moon in Pisces, I'll do a whole report on the new moon in Pisces, but just understand that it's a time to set intentions always with new moons. But with Pisces, it's really like, what is in alignment with your heart? What do you really, really, really want? And here's what I have found, and this is true. When we say, this is what I desire, sometimes the universe hands it to us, but sometimes the universe hands us something that kind of looks like it, but there's this one little thing, and we have to decide like, is this it or no? And we'll know. That's all I'm going to say about that. So March 15th through the 17th, keep that date in mind. That is when Mercury will hit its pre-retrograde shadow. So what I will say about that is this. any kind of contractual agreements or big decisions or anything like that, try to make them before this happens. And if you can't, then dial up that intuition like 10 notches higher. Okay. Um, the spring equinox comes March 19th. I love the spring equinox. It's actually, in my humble opinion, the beginning of the year after we have January 1st and after we have Chinese New Year. All that hoopla dies down, all that like, I'm committed to go to the gym and do yoga every day. All that dies down. And then March 19th comes and you have an opportunity to renew your resolutions or intentions. And I am really excited about this new year because we really do have a lot of powerful energy this year. It's really, I don't want to put on this like uh Pollyanna outlook and be like, it's 2024 is numerology 8 and we have all this abundance and that's all true. And there's also a lot of shifting energy, which means that we're going into the Aquarius age, right? And so things will start to unfold and become apparent that aren't really what we want to look at, but that's the work, isn't it now? Um, Sun, Neptune conjunct each other on March 17th. That is hugely, hugely magic. Venus and Saturn conjunct each other around the 21st. That's one of the most powerful days of the year. I'll get to that in a second because I have a whole section of notes on that, but you might want to mark that down. Venus and Saturn conjunction. This is when love, abundance, money, beauty, our value hits Saturn, and Saturn is all about discipline. So it's like that, first of all, holding true to your value system, right? Like, what do I really value? But also holding true to your values, like how you value yourself, right? Like, not just I value this in my life, but I value myself here. And being able to say no and set boundaries and do that with a strong conviction of self-love. So that's really important. And then the lunar eclipse happens on March 25th. So it's a full moon lunar eclipse on March 25th. That is going to lead us into some big changes, you guys. And I'll do a whole report on that. I think the big thing is to remember that we're always shifting and life doesn't go like this. It doesn't even go like this. It's in a spiral. So we're always growing, we're always shifting, we're always, tending to the fire of our life and then being in the places of deep contentment, right? And so I think tapping into the heart is what is really going to be important throughout your whole life. I like to ask always, like, what would love do? Right. And sometimes answering that question is pretty challenging. It's like, I don't know what love would do. I'm so angry right now, or whatever the situation is. But when we sit long enough in our breath, if we ask what would love do, I think that would be a really good mantra for this month. So let me give you a couple dates, okay? March 3rd, Venus is going to square Uranus. This is really powerful. So Uranus wants to change things. Uranus wants to be free from old beliefs, and Venus is about love, abundance, money, what we value. So when this happens, we could have a deep awakening about what we're worth, which would be amazing. That's March 3rd, people. March 3rd, that's coming up. March 8th, Mercury conjuncts Neptune in Pisces. So when Mercury conjuncts Neptune, this is lower mind meets dreamy thoughts, right? So this is super highly creative energy on March 8th. March 9th, Mercury moves into Aries. So it's going to move from Mercury, our thought process, right? Is going to move from dreamy Pisces to like get shit done Aries. So this is why I'm saying have your manifestations like ready to go, right? March 9th, Mars is going to square Uranus. Remember, I said Venus squared Uranus a few days before, 6 days to be exact. Mars squares Uranus is a little more intense. Mars square Uranus can create some aggravating emotions, so just be mindful of that. March 10th is the new moon. March 11th, Venus is going to go into Pisces, which is always just beautiful and romantic and dreamy and loving, right? Sun conjunct Neptune, that's super highly creative. That's March 17th, super highly creative. But remember, Mercury just went into its pre-shadow stage. So I've read that it happens on the 15th. Some people say the 17th, so just be mindful. March 19th is the equinox. So be open to some really amazing rituals then. I don't know, maybe I'll try to do like some sort of yoga or sound healing that day. So stay tuned for that. And then March 21st is that Venus conjunct Saturn. So I really want you to notate that day, because this is the day before we start getting hit with these eclipses that, the universe is like, what do you really want? Oh, you're not there. Take responsibility for your actions and your choices. And now what do you want to do? Right? It's like that. Um, and being able to say, this is what I truly desire. This is what I feel like I'm worth. And then just trusting that when you let go of the things that are beneath your worth and your value, that it's actually opening the door to what you are worth. March 22nd, Mars is going to go into Pisces. So this will soften any kind of tense emotions that are coming through. And then bam, March 25th is that full moon lunar eclipse. Now, this is a south node eclipse. When we have a south node eclipse, it almost always means endings to things. So it almost always means that, first of all, it's highly transformative time. It's like hitting the reset button. Things will end, things will come together, but this ending could be a big one for you, a relationship, a job, or something, but it could also be really subtle, like a thought pattern or some belief system that you have. So, but know that it's a south node eclipse, so it usually means endings, right? And then we have that solar eclipse on April 6th, so that's going to bring things back around. So this month is really, the first 2 weeks of the month, get dreamy, get creative, get loving, get like, oh my gosh, what do I really want? Like, right? And then know that right around the 15th, it's going to get a little foggy and then things are going to start to shift. So I don't know what that means for you. Only you do. If you know how to read your chart, yay you. If you don't and you want me to read your chart, please reach out to me at danadamara.com. You can go right on my website and schedule a reading. Happy to do it for you. In the meantime, I hope you have a beautiful day and take care. Namaste.